Friend of Valsarem, I have a proposal for you. Tranquil greetings, Caraval. You will forgive me if I seem awkward. We rarely entertain guests here on Arteum. I am Kelleris. Right Master Ichesis told me a great deal about you. I suspect he has plans for you within the Sijic Order. The Right Master holds you in high regard. That is proof enough of your worthiness. The Sijic Order requires practical wisdom, outside perspective. Unless I miss my guess, you can provide both. You would be a worthy addition to our ranks. Eager to begin? Good. Eagerness is just what we need. Your first lesson begins now. The Order has detected a number of irregularities on Tamriel. Small breaches in the fabric of time. I would like you to seal them for me. The first cluster of time breaches appeared on the Isle of Summerset. You should start there. Go speak with my apprentice, Josaja, in the Athenaeum. She will provide the tools you need, a map, Sijic seals, and the Augur of the Obscure. The map will show you the approximate location of each time breach. I apologize. Our visions, while powerful, are not always specific. Make your way to each X on the map, then use the Augur of the Obscure to discover the anomaly's exact location. These time breaches are not visible to mortal eyes. The Augur, however, perceives time and space very differently. Gazing through it will allow you to peer through the veil, to see things both visible and invisible. Things like these breaches. Precisely. Think of them like bandages, I suppose, or tourniquets. The chrononymics they contain will stabilize the rifts and harden the walls of time around them, rendering the breaches harmless. They are quite easy to use, I promise. I serve as the Chief Law Master here on Arteum, a grand title for a modest pursuit, truth be told. I protect and maintain our various libraries and archives, safeguard the details of our Order's history, that sort of thing. 863 at last count, not including the Right Master's personal collection, of course. Don't trouble yourself looking for them. Many of them exist in quasi-planes and hermetic mind spheres. It helps keep things tidy. Comparatively, yes. Many of my peers spend their days examining the nature of reconstituted souls and studying Etata dream residue. Still, I love my work. It also affords me the opportunity to spend time with our initiates. Of sorts. I educate students on the importance of compassion, discipline, objectivity, and the like. Our Order's chief virtues. It can be very rewarding, provided the students take such lessons to heart. I am confident you will be such a student. A noble heart and a solemn commitment to the good. Achieving membership in the Sijic Order is a serious and lasting endeavor. You must be prudent, but fearless, withdrawn, but compassionate. It is not something to be taken lightly. Too reclusive, I fear. The truth is that we have grown old, Caraval. A mixed blessing, I suppose. Long years of seclusion have allowed us to study and learn, but always at the cost of our relationship with the outside world. We need youth, vigor, As your knowledge of the old ways grows, so too will the rewards. For instance, we are prepared to teach you new and powerful spells. As in all things, the best teacher is experience. This matter of the time breaches will act as your exam. Only this. Purge yourself of selfish intent. Membership in the Psijic Order will bring you both prestige and power, but such honors often lead to Wegnithir, the bad change. What you do in the Order's name, you do for others, never yourself.
Yes, can I help you? Right. You're the Order's new initiate. I didn't expect you so soon. Things here on Artaeum are normally, you know, snailish. I transcribed our seer's visions onto the map there, and collected these Psijic seals. The augur, however... I don't. Please don't tell the Lore Master. It tricked me into dismissing the binding charms that keep it here, in the Athenaeum. Then it popped like a bubble and vanished. It escaped before, but never on my watch. Mercifully, yes. I just scried its location. It looks like it reappeared somewhere on the shores of Wastin Coraldale. It didn't take long for some sea elves to scoop it up and squirrel it away. You'll have to steal it back. I am sorry, truly. I'm indebted. You'll definitely need the augur on your quest. Without it, you'll never find those time breaches. The Lore Master didn't tell you? All right. How to explain it? The augur is a skull. Sort of. It's really a crystalline entity that resembles a skull. Some think it's from the head of an ancient mage, but I don't believe that for a minute. It's hard to say. Once you have a few conversations with it, you'll see what I mean. Yes, incessantly. I think that's why Lore Master Kellerus made me its caretaker. No one else wants to listen to it. You should know that it lies constantly, unless you ask it a direct question. If you do that, it's compelled to always tell the truth. It will. Stirring up the augur's power will give you a second sight. The skull sees time differently. Well, it sees practically everything differently, but time most of all. I think it's fascinating. I just wish the little bugger wasn't so sneaky. The seals are one of the Order's oldest tools. They act as a sort of anchor, shoring up any wayward spirits or forces in a given place. When Nirn was still young, the veil was much looser, more unpredictable, you know? So the Aldmer made these. None at all. We've been refining them for thousands of years, remember? Just take one in your hand when you reach a tear, and the seal will do the rest. I am. You look surprised. Right, of course. It's not racial bias. The Psijic Order doesn't have any axes to grind. It's just a matter of circumstance. Psijic study is an Aldmeri tradition, for one thing. High Elves also live a long time and have more natural aptitude. It's a long story. I was the heiress to a crown magnifica. Our house was prosperous, well respected. When Kellerus offered to take me to Artaeum, I cast off my duties immediately and left the family's fortunes in the hands of my brother. He drove our family into shame and poverty, pretty much immediately. I try not to think about it. Let's change the subject, all right? You have lots to do and very little time to do it.
Please, feel free to peruse our libraries. This is, of course, only a fraction of our collection. The really dangerous tomes are well out of reach, I assure you.
Another visitor? Excellent! I can't tell you how desperate we are for fresh faces. When you see the same people every day, conversations can grow dull and uninteresting. But now, between you and Sotha Seal, we have an embarrassment of riches.
You must be the adventurer that Valcern was going on about. Allow me to be the first to welcome you to our secret island. Oh, I suppose you already talked to the Right Master, seeing as you're here in Kapora Tower. That strange pearl has certainly been reluctant to reveal its secrets. The Right Master hates it when an inanimate object refuses to cooperate. Regarding the amplification elixir, I just cataloged it. It's a Sotha seal creation, as you'd expect. What? No, not in the traditional sense. He's not one of our monks, if that's what you're asking. More like an honorary member, I guess you'd say. According to my records, the silver vial should be right over there. As soon as the pearl arrived via Valserin's transference spell, the Right Master gathered the conclave to prepare an augury ritual. He's been cycling sages through to keep them fresh, while slowly increasing the intensity of the ritual. I'm the Right Master's acolyte. I have other duties to perform. Besides, such a complex ritual requires the power of the conclave of the 11 forces. I'm not that strong yet. Under the Right Master's tutelage, I expect to attain that rank. One day. I'm not allowed to reveal where you are, or how our magic works, other than to tell you that you have arrived upon the fabled island of the Psijic Order, Artaeum. While we're not currently part of Nirn's reality, we still keep track of events there. I could say we have our ways and leave it at that, but you deserve a better explanation. The Right Master sends Psijics back to the world to perform tasks and gather information. Plus, we have powerful scrying magic that reveals all sorts of details. Despite opinions to the contrary, being an Altmer isn't a prerequisite for membership in the Psijic Order. The Right Master noticed my potential and invited me to join. I had a year to consider the offer, but I made my decision immediately. I was examining the vial of amplification elixir myself just a short time ago. It should be right over there.
Was Oriandra able to direct you to the proper elixir? Without something to amplify the magic, our ritual is going to fail. Just in time. For the next stage of the ritual, if you have no objections, I'd like you to join us. Your experiences alongside Valserin might help reveal what has so far eluded our efforts. We'll handle the magic. You pour the elixir into the scrying pool and stand close. As the ritual's power amplifies, your experiences with the Pearl and the false Aldark should help the augury do its job. We want to discover the origin of the Pearl and its strange magic. In addition, anything we can learn about the false Aldark and his connection to the Pearl would be helpful. Otherwise, we're stepping blindly into Oblivion's maw here. Pour the elixir into the pool. That should provide the final boost we need to trigger the augury.
Here we stand, the most favored servants of Clavicus Vile, Nephila, and Nocturnal. on the verge of the greatest victory for our princes.
Are you sure those creatures can be trusted?
Have no fear. Isn't that why we formed the Court of Bedlam? Besides, what happens next in Relenthiel will seal Somerset's fate.
That was unnerving. It seems the false Aldark belonged to an alliance of Daedric cultists called the Court of Bedlam. Imagine, the faithful of Clavicus Vile, Mephala, and Nocturnal working together. This is more serious than I anticipated. No, but I'm hardly an expert on the Daedric cults of Tamriel. The magic I sensed in the pearl, though, it doesn't contain the taint of oblivion. We're missing something. But what? I suppose we'll need to find out what's going on in Relenthiel. I hoped you'd say that. Relenthiel sits to the west of Shimmerine, just across the mountains. I'll send Valcerin with you to talk to the Cannon Reeve. The false Aldark may be dead, but Mephala's and Nocturnal's agents remain, as well as the pearls. I may not be a natural prognosticator, but I had a feeling you might. Go ahead. I'll answer what I can. From what I've experienced, an alliance isn't just unusual, it's contrary to their very nature. Oh, they'll work together from time to time, but something as complex as what Sotha Seal hinted at is unheard of. Makes me interested to learn more. Very little, I'm afraid. The last time I passed through that area was more than 350 years ago. They made an exquisite wine, as I recall, and the House of Reveries theater troupe always put on an entertaining show. The augury ritual extracted a vision of the false Aldark and the Court of Bedlam, but nothing specifically about the Pearl. Its magic isn't Daedric, though. How they can steal life energy and use it to summon those sea creatures remains a mystery.
I'll make my own way to Relenthiel and meet you there. I expect we should start by seeing if the town's Cannon Reeve has noticed anything unusual in the area. I volunteered for this mission, and Relenthiel is the next obvious location to investigate. We really ought to head out now. Lathan. Lathan is a member of our order. He's a learned sage who disappeared while on a mission of his own back in Nirn. He was looking into an earlier warning we received about the Daedric princes. We haven't heard from... Lathan isn't a stranger to difficult situations. It's just that it isn't like him not to send word. He could have been captured or injured, or... Probably he's just been busy. I expect we'll hear from him any time now. We're not prisoners here. We can move about as our research and investigations require. The Rite Master has so many experiments going on at any given time, however, that he tends to stick close to the island. We've been friends and colleagues for a very long time. Ikesis has been the Rite Master since before I was accepted into the Order. In fact, he's the primary reason I'm here. He saw potential in a young Altmer and invited her to join.